Your favorite fat boys.
Man, what a truck, bitch!
What's up, everybody? Your favorite fat boy, Jerron.
Stefan, aka Mayhem, aka your movie review guru, aka the Leonard Maltin of the hood.
We gotta get your t-shirt made about that. All right, well, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're gonna talk about, the movies we've seen in the last couple months. So we're gonna talk about Captain America, was it Brave New World?
Brave New World.
Sinners, and Thunderbolts, which we saw on Friday. And, you know, some other shows we've seen recently as well in the last few months here. Because all of them looks like all of them ended pretty much except for, Last of Us? Yeah. So, we'll kick things off with the movie review. So, first one here, Captain America.
I enjoyed it. It didn't get as much hype as I was expecting a new Captain America movie to, but it was a rather enjoyable movie. I love Giancarlo Esposito's Sidewinder character. He was tough as shit.
Yeah, it should be more him in the movie.
I definitely felt like he should have had a more prominent role in the movie. But Anthony Mackie's first foray as Captain America, wasn't bad. Even though the movie didn't make as much as
projected.
No, it made around what it was projecting. But it didn't make as much as I'm sure Disney would have wanted it to. But it did make more money than the original Captain America movie. So, if that's any consolation.
Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good appetizer for what's to come with the rest of the Marvel movies that are slated to come out in the next couple months. 9 months. Within 2026. Because what was the last movie? Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Was it Deadpool versus? It's Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, that's the last movie since last year. So yeah, I thought Anthony Mackie did a great job as Captain America. You know, stepped into their role. We have a new Falcon, and we got to see Red Hulk, and we got to see the leader after all these years.
20.
Yeah. So.
That presents a different problem that I'll address in a minute.
Yeah. So. And we got to find out what happened to, was it Celestial Island? Mm-hmm. After
the Eternals.
The Eternals. We don't know what's going on with that.
So yeah, but they actually finally addressed it.
Right. So that was something to note. And now you have this I don't want to say conflict, but now you have this question of, well, we know that they were going to Celestial Island for the resources of adamantium. So now the question asked, who's going to use it to make Wolverine or fund Project Weapon X? So who's going to get to that, and how's that going to play into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Given that we know the history, of course, how adamantium comes into play, and then Wolverine comes along and all that, and these other characters as well. So yeah, I'm excited to see where that's going to go. Hope they don't, shortchange in a sense, but they left it very open so that you can bring forth a Wolverine, which will definitely probably be recasted. It won't be Hugh Jackman, and then of course we're going to bring in the X-Men as well. So,
right, and said all of that. Which one of the good things I liked about the movie is it took the time to address a lot of lingering plots threads that they just hadn't touched on in some odd years. Mm-hmm. But it also bring another issue that I had with it is that it felt like a sequel to The Hulk. But they didn't have Bruce Banner in it at all. It's like this felt like it was tying up all of those loose ends from the Hulk movie, but they did not have Bruce Banner in it at all. So that was fundamentally one of the biggest issues that I had with the movie, outside of the fact that I did enjoy most of the movie primarily.
Yeah, I thought they could have it definitely warranted a end credit scene with Bruce Banner at least addressing the Red Hulk and what his thoughts on it, things like that.
Right. So, I mean, they brought in Betty, but okay.
They could have kept Betty where she was at. Because for her to come there and do like this little, I'm here for you, Dad, like that whole prison scene and everything. I get it, because but like you said, 20 years. We've been waiting for the leader for 20 years, and I'm glad that he had more scene, enough of a role in this movie and everything like that. But that little bit of Betty was like, huh?
Right, yeah. So maybe Mark Ruffalo was just busy. So they could have...
Because the last thing we saw him in was at the end of, was it Shang-Chi?
No, the last thing he was actually at the ending was She-Hulk.
Oh, yeah. So in between that and Shang-Chi, and he was talking with Captain Marvel and... Was it Captain Marvel? Yeah, Captain Marvel and... Was it Wong?
Yeah, Wong was there.
So, in talking about this other threat, address it.
Well, I mean, they're taking the time. They are addressing things because, again, the Eternals plot hole has been sitting open. Well, plot thread has been sitting open for like 6 years, and the leader, that plot thread has been up in the air for 20. So they use this movie as a vehicle to address a bunch of issues. So I have the belief that the rest of the plot threads that they kind of left open, they'll get to.
Okay. So. And what else was going on? Oh, so then at the end of Brave New World, the leader spoke to Sam Wilson and said that you don't know what's coming. So that's open for interpretation because we know that Doomsday is coming, but we don't know what the plot for that is, anything like that.
Right.
So, but it's just gearing up for something.
Yeah.
So then we saw Thunderbolts on Friday. Thunderbolts I thought was really good. It was a very well-rounded Marvel film with the anti-heroes or some villains turn anti-hero now when they've been doing miscellaneous dirty work behind the scenes, things like that. And then we had this uber power. I won't call him a villain. He kind of was the villain.
Yeah. I mean, he was the major threat.
Yeah, he was a major threat in this, and got to see Bob Reynolds, aka the Century, in this, and how he, came to be and how he, dealt within this world and everything, which I thought they did really, really well.
Yeah.
I was very surprised how well they tackled the Void, his psyche and everything, and how he was just kind of, how much he is going on as a character in the comic books and everything. So I thought it was really well done.
And also, I enjoyed a lot of the parallels that they had the Thunderbolts did with the original Avengers.
Yeah.
Especially with them in that same area in New York fighting this quote unquote threat.
Yeah. So it to me, it was definitely it was a better, the Thunderbolts for what they really are is a different version of the Suicide Squad. But I thought this was done really well versus the first Suicide Squad movie. Because that whole, we're a family, we're friends, and that was
after 20 minutes.
Yeah. But this was like,
it was far more organic the way they came together.
Yes, because they all had their own problems, which they poke fun at each other about, but it's like in a good way. Like, and then the whole fact that what's her name? Yelena?
Yeah.
Yelena was the fact that she was still hurting from the passing of her sister. She had a strange relationship with her father at this point, and that she was just hurting, and she managed to put her hurt to the side to help out Bob in the end. Yeah, putting them back together.
And I like the fact that they went with a different direction, at least how they resolved the conflict, because they showed what would actually happen if all of them tried to fight Sentry. He beat their ass. So these more punchy, shooty people would never been able to handle the Sentry on any level, and they made it a point to show that. So they went a very different route for how they resolved the conflict after he had his heel turned to the Void.
Yeah.
Because even when before that little moment, which was tough as shit, where he pretty much handed their ass to them, it shows you just his strength opposed to theirs, and it was like it was off the charts.
The sheer distance and abilities between
because even though you
Sentry and the entire group,
you had 3 super soldiers. One, the ghost, but it's her suit is her power, right? Or is she
no? Well, her suit allows her. Well, she already has the ability to phase, but her suit keeps her from her atoms just not being able to come back together.
Gotcha. Okay. So between 3 super soldiers and a handsome being and a trained assassin, what do you really think you're gonna do with fucking Superman? Of all intents and purposes. So
get their ass beat. That's what happened.
And spoiler alert. R.I.P. to Taskmaster.
Yeah, man, Marvel. I don't know what y'all grievance is with Taskmaster, but man, y'all just keep doing Taskmaster dirty in your movies, from Black Widow to this one.
At this point, go and recast Taskmaster at this point. Because, I mean, you didn't know what to do with the character, and the offer in the head was just kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, just unceremoniously.
Yeah. So, but it was, I thought, yeah, it was a well-grounded movie. I think it was like a step up from Captain America. And now we got Fantastic Four coming in the end of July, I believe.
Right.
So, I can't wait for that because we see at the end credit scene, spoiler alert, the Fantastic Four ship is coming to Earth 616.
Yeah, it comes into the MCU dimension because we know that the Fantastic Four movie takes place in a different dimension.
Yes. So I'm interested to see that because it's kind of been set in the futuristic 60s, right?
Yeah.
So we might I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see if we see other heroes in that dimension as well. Like, will we see a Spider-Man? Will we see?
Yeah, I don't think so. It looks like in that dimension they are the sole heroes.
Okay.
But we'll see when that comes up. But just at least from the trailers and the way they're talking about them in the trailers, they call them the protectors of Earth.
Right.
So it looks like they are the sole heroes.
Well, I mean, we don't know. But that's a point that, given from the trailers, that's what it looks like it's going to be. Because in Multiverse of Madness, we had a Reed Richards from another dimension. Mm-hmm. We had, what was her name? We had a Captain Marvel. There's another dimension, Black Bolt,
Captain Britain.
So, no, who knows? We will see. So, how do you feel about the casting of the Fantastic Four?
I'm fine with it. I mean, Pedro Pascal is in everything right now, but
he's the man,
right? Said he is now the official father of all the sort of every superhero type property.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised to see him as cast as Mr. Fantastic. I thought that was like kind of like on par, like given like his trajectory on like lead roles has been going on lately. So with
definitely
Mandalorian and Last of Us and everything, and just it's on par. So the other two actors that are playing Mrs. Fantastic and Human Torch, I haven't seen them in any. I can't remember what I've seen them in, but
Sue Richards, call her by her actual name.
Sue Richards,
Fantastic.
Whatever. But then the guy playing the Thing, he's from The Bear, so
yeah.
I think he's got some great acting chops to play the Thing, and the Thing looks really good, CG wise and everything. So
yeah, at least from the trailer, because we know with trailers, it's never the completed project.
Yeah. So and then
the fact that Galactus, we're gonna actually see Galactus.
Yeah, and we see Silver Surfer, a different version of Silver Surfer in this film here as well. So that's played by, I can't remember her name, but she was Ruth in Ozarks. You seen that?
I've never seen that.
Great show. She did some really great acting in there. So I am excited to see how this all plays out and how this gonna set up for Doomsday. Because Spider-Man comes out before or after Doomsday?
I believe it comes out after.
Okay, so yeah. So to see how this sets up. Because I don't know if anything comes out movie-wise next year early before Doomsday.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's interesting to see how this is going to kind of set up for Doomsday because, everybody's in this now. You got Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Victor Von Doom, and maybe Chris Evans Captain America might come back. No word yet. But it's gearing up to be a big event.
Yeah, it's definitely a stacked cast.
Yeah. So what are you excited for? Are you more excited for Fantastic Four or Doomsday coming up?
Well, more of the Avengers. I like the bigger ensemble movies.
Okay.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I am excited for Fantastic Four. It's been a long time coming. But
yeah, finally, this is the third reincarnation of Fantastic Four.
Third attempt at it.
And we have seen it from young teenagers to adults to old ass adults. Third time's a charm.
Hopefully.
So, but we got faith though. So, good things to come on the horizon. All right. So what else we got here? Oh, okay, so we saw Sinners.
Yeah,
So what are your thoughts on that?
for the culture. For the goddamn culture. That movie was very good and very thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And it was definitely an extremely different take on a vampire movie.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Said Ryan Coogler just kind of just snapped that right out the park.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's not just a vampire movie. It's a movie that delves into the culture of blues, the 1930s South, black lore, vampire lore as well. It's a very well done cultural movie. That's just not just. It's not about black people. It's about the history of America as well. Like there's a good timepiece. It takes place in the 1930s and throw some vampires in there.
Piece.
Yeah, there's some vampires in there. That's, kind of put you on edge a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's a vampire movie that has a lot of subcontext about religion, culture,
Music.
ancestry.
Oh, and then with the music, we can't forget the music.
Oh yeah, absolutely, music.
Yeah, so
which is a part of the overall culture.
yeah. So one of my favorite scenes in there was I won't say transition, but just like how they brought up like the past and the present and the future of where music was going, and they incorporate all these different cultures of music in this one scene. I thought that was really, really dope to see. It wasn't overly action packed, but the action scenes, even the dramatic scenes, felt like they were like really. It was like action forward to me. So, but they did, it was a really well acted movie. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan for playing dual roles. He played them really, really well.
Yeah.
The overall cast was great. It touched on a lot of different things like hoodoo. Hoodooism? Is that a word?
Yeah, hoodoo.
Hoodoo. What did they call? Octoroon. They call Mario's character Octoroon, which I hate to say, I didn't know it was a real word until I really looked at this movie. Cause I heard the word from Key and Peele skit, but I didn't know it was a real word.
Yes. Means you're an eighth black.
Right. So like the acting overall in this was really well done, and it left a lot of people wanting more of a Sinners universe. It left a lot of people upset about it. A lot of people thought it was just an okay film. I guess they didn't really understand the nuances and the history behind it. I've read different articles about people like that were, very religious and leaving the film early on, like Christians and things like that. So, did you read anything about that? You have any take on it?
No, it wasn't a big enough stink for it to reach my radar.
And what else? Oh, there was complaints about there weren't enough Latinos in the film, but this wasn't about.
Yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be a lot of Latinos during this period during the Reconstruction period in the South. There would not have been a lot of Latinos down there.
So I think this is very accurate given the time period, because I think what threw a lot of people off was seeing the Chinese Americans in the film, and they were serving blacks and whites. So, but I think that it shows you just like people were integrated. Different cultures were integrated long before they made us think about it, it was definitely there. It's not like a new thing per se.
Oh, I mean, well, they definitely made us think about it. I mean, the biggest think about the Chinese didn't come until there was the rush to move west, and Chinese people were coming over and taking the jobs.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, racism, America. But if there's any movie that I definitely recommend anybody to sit down and watch, Sinners is definitely it.
Yeah, I plan on going seeing it again. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really good, great film. This is his fifth film?
Yeah,
Ryan
I believe
Coogler's?
so.
Yeah. So it was he wrote this, and then he did something that I think was new for people to read about, as far as like directors and like how they budget their contracts. He got like top billing for the film off the bat, instead of waiting until the studio recouped its money first. He got like money up front for that. He also got to retain the rights after 25 years versus, and I don't know how unheard of that is, or they get rights 40, 50 years down the line after the film. I don't know.
No, it depends. It always depends on what you can get from the studios with those types of contracts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not unheard of. He hasn't done anything that's brand new in the Hollywood space.
Got you. Okay. And another question I wanted to ask was, who do you feel right now, or overall, is the best director and actor duo? Because right now, people are saying that right now, Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler cannot lose. You know, they're like kind of like between Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther, and Sinners. Now they're 4 for 4.
I mean, there aren't too many director actor pairs who are super consistent, unless you look at somebody like
Spike Lee and Denzel.
Yeah, and there's some other.
That's one on top of my head I can think
like
of.
Seth Rogen, and maybe says Seth Rogen. He does a lot of things with James Franco. But then again, they're just his friends. And
What would you Seth Rogen in with Judd Apatow?
no, Judd Apatow. He does a lot of stuff with several different comedians.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, but there's not two people who are a director and then an actor who are consistently doing movies together like that. Unless you, maybe Adam Sandler, he does a lot of movies with his friends too.
Yeah, that's true. So with Denzel and Spike Lee, would you put them on the same page, or like just two? That's kind of like.
I mean, it depends on the year. Right now, it's Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. But if this was the '90s, Spike Lee and Denzel.
Okay. They got another film I think coming out sometime either this year or next year. They're working. I can't remember the name of it. Forgive me. But yeah, I mean, like with all the films they've done together, and you know, right now Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, they're on the fast track, I think, to probably match them. So that's just like a lot of different things I've seen people talk about with with all the success Sinners has garnered over since its release and everything.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I just know that if it's a Ryan Coogler directed movie and written by Ryan Coogler, I'm probably gonna go see it.
Okay. What else? He's doing the S-Files coming up, the TV series coming up. I don't know when it's coming out, but yeah, that's the next project working on. Would you I was going to ask, do you want to see a Sinners universe or something original from him? That's my question.
I mean, well, Sinners is original, so.
Do you want to see something else from him regarding Sinners, or do you think that's good enough to kind of stand on its
No,
own?
I think it's pretty self-contained. I mean, they can go into follow the vampire characters going to different eras, but I think the movie it stands alone well by itself.
Okay. You have a favorite scene from Sinners overall?
I don't want to sound like a pervert here, but I'm joking. No, I think one of my favorite scenes involved. Two of my favorite scenes. Both of them involve music. The one where our lead protagonist was singing and he was calling on the ancestors from the spirits in the past, and then the other scene is after more of the people became vampires, and then they started all singing Irish jigs and doing Irish dances. I think that scene was just fucking fun. Those scenes were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I like those scenes a lot. The scene at the end when they came back to that jazz to see Sammy performing and everything like that, I thought that was pretty dope. And the fact that Smoke couldn't kill his brother, but he told him like, hey, like, but look, leave him alone. I'll let y'all go. And in that last scene where the Stack killed out the KKK, laid them out.
You're right.
Do you think that in that last scene that Stack was protecting Smoke and Murray because maybe they locked themselves inside the barn? Because remember when the KKK came and they couldn't get into the barn and everything like that?
No, not so much that he was protecting them. I think it was most of the fact that because of the vampire, he now knew that they were coming, and so he did what he felt like he had to do. Because of the fact that if the vampires hadn't attacked them, this would have been a whole bunch of black people that would have got massacred.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that last scene was tough and everything. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. All right, and moving on to a couple shows we've seen here. So we've seen Daredevil, Invincible, Abbott Elementary. Was it season 4 or 5?
Well, it was 4?
Yeah. So we'll start with we'll go with over these 3 here. Oh, then Last of Us, we're on episode 4 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Invincible?
Oh,
was it season 3?
Yeah, season 3.
Season 3.
I thought that this was a much better season than season 2.
Okay, I agree with you there.
Said story wise and animation wise, they had much more time so that they could animate it a lot better than they did with season 2, and the fact that, man, what they do with the last episode of the season mostly, they put Mark through the fucking ringer. These Viltrumites just keep putting Mark through the fucking ringer.
It surprises me that Mark isn't dead yet.
Well, you know, he's
invincible.
Alien superpower. This is the fact that it surprises me that more humans don't leave the planet.
Yeah, I'll be on a rocket somewhere else.
I'm telling you, be on the fucking moon.
Yeah, but yeah, that last episode with Conquest.
Yeah.
Voice acted beautifully by Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yep.
So I watched the episode I think 3 or 4 times, just like because it's like he's like, show me your rage. You know, his commentary, his talking, his acting, you know, was just really well done. Yeah, they put Mark through that shit, and I'd be like, why is he coming back? Go home, retire, join the Viltrumite army, and just let them leave Earth alone. The end.
So I tell you, I'm definitely looking forward to the next season.
Yeah, because I don't know who we're gonna get next as far as the main villain, but I mean, this was definitely a better season. They brought they did the Invincible War for what, 1 episode, 2 episodes? Was it really 1?
1 episode.
Yeah, they did it really well for 1 episode. I don't think they shortchanged anything. I mean, I think they summed it up in a good enough way. They didn't, because I think they did 2 or 3 episodes that they just dragged out. So, but yeah, I was very impressed with season 3 of Invincible. Then we got Abbott Elementary, season 4 here. The acting, the writing on this show is just getting better and better each season.
Yeah, I mean, it's always consistently funny. There's really nothing I can say about Abbott Elementary that I haven't already said before. It's still firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, they're doing really well, really well. The last episode when they went to the Touch Museum.
Yeah,
that to me was one of the funniest episodes, just because to see Orlando Brown be Eddie's father and him and seeing Eddie reaction to his dad being more humorous than what he's used to, and his facial expression is just like
who is this man?
Yeah, they were just too funny to me.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing I can say about Abbott Elementary that I haven't already said. I will always, Quinta Brunson, I will always sing her praises for that show.
Yeah. Was that favorite episode that stuck out to you this season?
No, not really particular episodes. It's just overall the ensemble cast and the format is just consistently funny.
Yeah, I think a favorite episode of mine was when Ava and I can't remember the guy named the IT guy.
Yeah, the tech
that comes to the school author and just see their build up to like this kind of this flirtatious on and off, and then he finally asked her out, and then she was such an ass to him the first date, and then he told her about herself, and then she got herself together. But I just like the way that Ava is putting on this front that she's so tough and she's invulnerable, but then she has a soft side to her, and then she finally kind of like peels the layers of herself down. I thought that was just really well done overall. And then Daredevil, Born Again. Same thing as Invincible. This man gets put through it.
Yeah, Matt Murdock gets put through the fucking ringer. But
this was a great season. Born Again, I thought it was going to kind of dial back on the violence a little bit, given that the first 3 seasons were under Netflix. But to see what Marvel kind of let him loose.
Yeah, I mean, they did say that they weren't going to tone down the violence for Daredevil. They were going to keep it at the same type of levels that they had on Netflix, and they delivered.
They definitely did, because to see Frank Castle just grunt his way through scenes.
Just killing everybody.
Like him shooting through walls, through cabinets, and just letting loose as Frank Castle. He's definitely like the best fit for that role.
Yeah, John Baratheon.
Yeah, like, oh man. And then I really like about what they did this season was you see Daredevil like swinging through the city with his billy club.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what Matt Murdock has been through, he needs some help. So
and definitely with Mayor Fisk doing his damnedest.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how we see what comes out of Spider-Man. if that will even touch that side of Marvel.
I mean, even
Or
though
the MCU.
even in Daredevil Born Again, Spider-Man did get a mention.
Yeah, he did.
He did get mentioned as one of those vigilantes running through New York.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see if Spider-Man Brand New Day touches that a little bit. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, they might come into play for next season. The Punisher as well. Who else? Any I guess like street level hero could come into play at this point.
Right.
So, but had he mentioned anything about like Echo season 2?
No, they haven't said anything. There have been no mentions of it, even though it was alluded to in Daredevil Born Again. Fisk talked about her, but no, they haven't said anything about there being a second season of it.
Okay.
I know. So yeah, they haven't mentioned anything about like a Moon Knight season 2. Jamie Renner just was on a podcast talking about there was going to be a Hawkeye season 2, but they were offering him half the money that he made for the first season. So he's like, yeah, no.
I wonder how much that was, in all honesty. Couldn't to say no to it.
Well, apparently it wasn't enough. Well, it was half of what they offered him from the first season, so it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I he has a right as an actor, as a working actor, to say no to a project if he doesn't feel like it's worth. They're meeting his standard. So, I wouldn't mind seeing the season 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because they did at the end of the Marvels, they showed up a end credit scene with Hawkeye, with what's her name, Haley? Is that her name?
Kate Bishop.
Haley Stanfield, I think Stanfield's her name.
Yeah, it's her real name.
Her real name, yeah. So Kate Bishop, she's still out there doing stuff. So it'd be nice to see, a season 2. But hey, we'll see what comes of it. Because we got the Avengers coming up, so soon enough. What else we got? So Last of Us, we end on that. That scene where they killed Joel. That episode was done really, really well. All I know is that the way they got these, what are they called? The stalkers? What are they called in the game? In the show, the infected. The way they got these infected set up is that they feel a lot of they like a hive mind. They networked into
the cordyceps. Their roots are connected, so they get information from the roots of the cordyceps.
Right. So the fact that they are keeping themselves warm underground, and then if you mess with a root, they just know, or even a pack, they know it's time to get up and get busy. That to me is the craziest thing, because them run down that mountain.
So they had the dead on top of them, so to keep the ones who are alive warm.
Which is wild. And to see them run down that mountainside, which I know is CGI, but that was just terrifying to see.
Oh yeah.
And they about to get busy, because you got Isaac coming into play soon, the leader of the Washington Liberation Front, and then Tommy coming. Tommy coming, because Ellie and Tommy are coming. That's gonna be some sight to see.
Yeah, and I'm definitely excited to see how they handle some of the elements that Abby goes through the game, especially when she meets with the Zealots.
Yeah, because the Seraphites and everything, they brought them into this, and so I want to see if they're going to kind of. How many episodes is this going to be? 8? Is it 8 or 10 episodes?
I think it might be 8. I know it's supposed to be split into 2 seasons, so we're not going to get everything this
season.
So
that's what I'm thinking. Like there's going to be. I think Abby's scene, her story's going to be probably like a split the next season. I think they're going to probably end with like it going into that. But man, if you played this game, you know what's coming. It's some shit to see. So I don't want to, ruin it for anybody who has not played the game and they just like watching the show and everything. But
yeah, definitely. And I still had that same visceral experience that I felt when I played the game and watching Abby kill Joel. Even though, like, say by the end of the game, you understand it. And this one, they tried to make the audience understand why it was occurring beforehand, which makes sense for a TV show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still had that same visceral experience when she killed that man. Like, Rrr!
Yeah, I rate on like Abby right now.
Again, don't like, but I can sympathize with it. Yeah, it makes sense. Her plight makes sense.
Yeah, it's rooted in revenge, and it's a really well done story from both what's the word? Perspectives on revenge. Abby has hers, Ellie has hers, and it's just really well done. So Yeah, I can't wait for episode 4 tonight.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add or throw in that stuff on?
No, actually, there was one show that I ended up watching that was actually pretty good. It's called High Potential.
Oh, what's that about?
It's about a genius savant, who's just, sort of like a normal mother, but she's a genius savant. She helps the police officers solve murders. Yeah, it's a procedural and it stars Katie McEnany, the woman who plays Dee on Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's actually a really enjoyable show. I was surprised. I took a chance on it and said, this isn't bad. So I would recommend that people watch that too. Well, with the other shows that we mentioned on this podcast episode.
Yes.
Do that.
There you go. Take Stefan's recommendations because I'm going to try it myself now. So, but as always, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know if there's any shows that you're watching that you would like for us to take a look at as well.
All right. That's the show. And as always, you can check out this podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
So that's it. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. We appreciate it. Peace out.
Peace.